The numbers were telling a story, at least, that's what Jason Miller thought. But on that chilly November night, as he sat in his New York office, staring at the bright screen, he wished they weren't. The figures flickered across his monitors like neon veins, revealing something he never should have uncovered. It wasn't just a simple error in a quarterly report or a misplaced decimal in a hedge fund's paperwork. No, this was something far more sinister. A shadow account. Billions of dollars cleverly concealed in plain sight, flowing through the financial veins of the global system, disguised as legitimate trades. And the worst part? It was all linked to his firm. Jason leaned back in his chair, his heart pounding. After 15 years as a forensic accountant, hunting down financial fraud like a detective chasing phantoms, he thought he had seen it all. But this was different. These transactions were too flawless, too exact. They didn't carry the stench of careless embezzlement or frantic manipulation. They appeared meticulously crafted, engineered with such finesse that it felt like the entire system was in on it. That's when it hit him. Someone was orchestrating the largest money laundering operation in American history. The realization snagged him like a fish on a hook. Every fiber of his being urged him to shut the laptop, pour himself a drink, and erase the memory of what he had just seen. But there was another feeling gnawing at him, a relentless craving for the truth. Jason was well aware of what happened to whistleblowers. He knew the fate of those who dared to ask too many questions about money that didn't belong to them. Yet, as the city lights danced off the glass towers outside, he also understood that he couldn't just walk away. The next morning, Jason printed the spreadsheets, slid them into a manila folder, and tucked them under his arm as he walked to the subway. To anyone watching, he was just another exhausted Wall Street analyst in a gray suit. But under that calm exterior, his mind raced. He had traced the funds through 6 shell corporations, across 4 continents, and finally back to a single U.S. bank, a bank with deep political ties. That bank was untouchable. Jason needed proof. More than spreadsheets, more than suspicions. He needed the smoking gun. So he reached out to an old contact, Alina Ruiz, an investigative journalist who had once exposed a Ponzi scheme that brought down a governor's career. She hadn't spoken to Jason in years, not since she burned him on a minor leak that nearly cost him his job. But desperation outweighed pride. Alina, it's Jason Miller. I found something. Something big. Silence on the other end, then her voice, cool and sharp as glass. If you're calling me, it's already dangerous. Meet me tonight. Usual spot. The usual spot was a dingy bar on the Lower East Side, a place where anonymity smelled like spilled beer and cigarette smoke. Jason sat in the corner booth, the folder heavy between them. Alina flipped through the pages, her eyes narrowing with each sheet. "This isn't fraud," she whispered. "This is state-sponsored. These accounts tie back to defense contractors, overseas oil firms, even government grants. Jason, this is bigger than us." A chill spread through him. "So what do we do?" "We don't. Not yet. We verify. We move slow. If we're right, this could shake the foundations of the financial system." But they didn't move slow enough. By the next morning, Jason noticed the black SUV parked across from his apartment. At work, his keycard access failed. His boss called him in for a compliance review, where 3 men in suits asked questions that had nothing to do with accounting. That night, he found his apartment door unlocked, his files untouched, but his laptop wiped clean. They knew. Jason called Alina in a panic, but her phone went straight to voicemail. Hours later, a burner number flashed across his screen. He answered, his voice cracking. "Alina?" She whispered, "They're on to us. Don't go home. Don't talk to anyone. Meet me at the ferry terminal at midnight." The line went dead. Jason's world shrunk to survival. He shoved cash into his wallet, ditched his credit cards, and slipped into the night. At the ferry terminal, Alina was waiting, a flash drive clutched in her fist. She said, "This has everything. Names, accounts, transfers. I don't know how long I can keep it safe." Jason reached for it, but headlights cut through the fog. Men in black coats emerged, their movements sharp, military. Jason grabbed Alina's hand, and they ran. What followed was chaos. Sprinting down the pier, the echo of footsteps behind them, the thunder of a gunshot cracking the night air. Alina shoved the flash drive into Jason's pocket before shoving him onto a departing ferry. "Go!" she shouted. The ferry pulled away, leaving Alina on the dock. Jason's last sight of her was a figure swallowed in shadows, surrounded by men in black. Now he was alone, clutching the evidence that could unravel the most powerful players in finance and government. He knew the drive was worthless if he couldn't make it public. But how? Every outlet was compromised, every official silenced. He went underground. Cheap motels, burner phones, cash-only diners. The flash drive became his obsession. He decrypted files, piecing together the spiderweb. At the center was a name he never expected. A senator, hailed as a reformer, a champion of the people. The man had built his career on fighting corruption while secretly orchestrating the largest money laundering ring in American history. Jason's hands trembled as he stared at the name. He realized this wasn't about money anymore. It was about power. The shadow ledger wasn't just moving dollars. It was shaping wars, elections, entire economies. The deeper he dug, the closer danger crept. He felt eyes on him at gas stations, saw the same faces twice on different streets. A note slipped under his motel room door, read, "Leave it alone, last warning." But Jason didn't stop. He sent fragments of the data to trusted academics, foreign watchdogs, even a rival political party. Each leak drew more attention. Each headline tightened the noose. Until the night the motel room door splintered open. Jason barely had time to grab the flash drive before men stormed in. He leapt through the bathroom window, shattering glass, sprinting barefoot into the dark. Sirens wailed in the distance. Helicopters thundered overhead. He ran until his lungs burned, until the city blurred into forest. And then, silence. For weeks, Jason vanished. Rumors swirled. Some said he fled overseas with billions in crypto. Others claimed he was killed and buried in an unmarked grave. But then one morning, a video appeared online. Grainy, recorded in a dim room, but unmistakably Jason. He said, "My name is Jason Miller, and if you're watching this, it means I didn't make it. The files you're about to see are real. They prove that your leaders, your bankers, and your corporations have built a shadow ledger that controls your lives. You deserve the truth. Now it's in your hands." The screen flickered, and then the documents poured across the internet. Every account, every transfer, every name. Panic gripped the markets. The senator resigned in disgrace. Banks collapsed under scrutiny. And for the first time, the public saw the machinery that had always turned in the dark. But Jason was never seen again. Some said he was in hiding, living under a new name. Others believed the powers he exposed had silenced him for good. Either way, his story became legend, a finance thriller that blurred the line between conspiracy and truth. Because in the end, Jason had learned the most dangerous lesson of all. Money isn't just currency, it's control, and those who control it will do anything to keep their secrets buried.